Lyric has also been saying things yesterday like she wishes this were Love Island instead. So those are the kind of comments that annoy me. I don't think Lyric would have done well on Love Island with her weird ass baby voice. What's up, everybody? Back to talk about the Big Brother live feeds that continue to limp along in these first few weeks of the season. Let's start with Rome and Lyric's plan to fake a breakup so that Lyric could go around the house and tell people that she's over Rome ruining her game, put Rome on the block. Rome even lying to Jason, of all people, that he and Lyric ended things. I don't understand why we're lying to Jason. I think Rome is showing himself to be an absolutely awful player. And yet, the stupid plan is working, of course, because in the Big Brother house, they cast a bunch of people with empty heads. But yeah, I think the Rome and Lyric breakup plan is stupid. But you know that the DR is working overtime to get the cast to want to make decisions that would ultimately save the showmance. That's what I'm seeing from this. And speaking of production, I did call it a couple days ago for anyone that watched. I was talking about what the edit might look like, about the drama after the nomination ceremony. And I said I can guarantee who will be made out to have the worst edit, and that was the gay guy, Jason. This show is very predictable. Yesterday, Drew wanted to help Melody try and get off the block, and Drew did try for a bit, as he should have, because that's like a future number for him. Drew told Devens that it would be better to save Melody because she's loyal, whereas Lyric wouldn't be. And Rome would have a tough time campaigning against Lyric, which is another good point. You know, they're a showmance. And even in that conversation with Devens, Drew said that he knows it probably seems like he's pitching for Melody because they're close, but he does think he could sway Melody's vote the way they want it to go. I thought Drew's initial talk was pretty good. Drew even told Devens about the Rome and Lyric fake breakup that they were doing. And Devens doesn't appreciate the way Lyric is treating Rome. He thinks that Rome didn't do anything but try and save her, which is true, which is another reason why I feel as though Lyric going around the house trying to throw Rome under the bus doesn't make sense. And yet I don't feel like enough people in the house are thinking about how weird it is that Lyric is doing that specifically. Like, it's one thing to fake a breakup. It's another thing to break up and now Lyric's immediately throwing Rome under the bus. It seems way too convenient to me. Drew did tell Devens and Dee about Rome telling him that the breakup isn't really real. He did it in fingers, the breakup. But I don't really think... Well, I think this initial talk kind of worked, like, to Devens, because Devens is easily swayed. But Dee and Angela have been on their own thing lately, which we're going to get to. But I feel like at first this alliance of the crossovers wanted to come to a consensus as a group, maybe even add in their bigger 8-person alliance. Melody had a good conversation with Devens, I felt like, saying that she would be willing to vote out Rome if he's on the block on eviction night, regardless if it's against Jason or Lyric. Melody promised Devens that if he uses the veto on her, she'll never nominate him if she wins HOH and will never vote to evict him. Now, Melody not telling the full truth here necessarily, but I felt like it was a good pitch. Whereas Lyric's one and only conversation with Devens a couple nights ago was similar to this, but it was like much quicker. I feel like Melody gave Devens far more information. But clearly as HOH, what I've gathered from Devens is that he will just basically do what he is told despite him being the HOH and despite it not being best for his own game. Because as we discussed when Devens first became HOH, he being the one to nominate Rome never made sense. They had a pretty good relationship. But Angela's paranoia has been pushing the game in the direction that it's going in. And people aren't going to like this. But Angela is a big cause for why the feeds suck. Because her paranoia has pushed most of the things that are now happening. And then you add most of these unlikable things that are now happening, and it's with a boring ass cast. It's not a good combination. Something else that is kind of brewing is a possible trio between Melody, Drew, and Kamu. Drew and Kamu have been getting closer. Drew's been doing this purposely. And Melody has been getting close to them on a game level too. Now, I don't know if Melody is going to survive this week and this trio can come to fruition, but I do think it could be a dangerous trio if they actually did get on the same page. But the thing with Melody is, like, I'm kind of getting more and more content if she ends up going home this week. She is one of the few on this cast that I do like. But her closeness to Drew, I just feel like if she were to stay and if she were to win the next HOH, I still see her nominating someone stupid, like Jason. She has it out for Jason. If Melody and Jason and Rome are on the block and Rome goes home, I can easily see Melody putting up Jason, and that would be a very stupid move by her. So I am a little more content with Melody going home, because even though she has some good qualities as a gamer, she has way too many blind spots, and I still think her social game is not good. It's gotten better as the game has gone along, still not good. I'm even kind of content if Jason goes home this week. I would still prefer Rome. I don't see it happening. And I don't think anything could actually save the feeds this season. I think production fucked up pretty bad with the vet dynamics. And like I said, the cast is boring overall. All Chuk does still talk trash about Taylor. And Taylor doesn't even know that Chuk is talking so much trash about her almost every single day. The only time I see Chuk on feeds these past few days, he's talking shit about Taylor. He's trying to bro down with someone, or he's enjoying Lyric flirting with him now. Drew told Dee at one point yesterday that Mallory definitely hates her. Dee said she didn't care. She basically said, I don't think I've cared less about anybody hating me in my life. But I think Dee is starting to trust Drew less and less, similar to Angela, because they've had multiple conversations yesterday together and with other people about how Drew just wants the veto to be used on Melody because that's best for Drew's game. They see Drew talking to a lot of people, which he does. He has a good social game, but he always brings the info back to them. I don't think they understand that. So they don't like Drew doing that. And yet I feel like Lyric is going around telling everyone that Rome should be the one to go home. But that's not the red flag to everybody. That she would be in the showmance with Rome. Suddenly they break up just because Rome's enemy number one. And she's throwing Rome under the bus. I feel like that's two different red flags. Because not only does it seem fake, because it is, but also let's just say it's real. Why are they not getting the same vibes they got with Ashley? That Lyric would be a terrible number if she's just immediately throwing Rome under the bus. It makes no sense to me. Lyric has also been saying things yesterday like she wishes this were Love Island instead. So those are the kind of comments that annoy me. I don't think Lyric would have done well on Love Island with her weird-ass baby voice. But I do enjoy that Lyric's flirting game is working, and it is kind of saving her. She has stayed flirting with Chuk, much to his glee. Chuk told Lyric at one point yesterday that he knows Lyric wouldn't string him along, and they are talking about trusting each other. I will say that if Lyric stays and plays the fuck out of Chuk, I'm more content with her staying. Dee and Angela had, despite having a lot of conversations that revolved around Drew, they also did talk about Taylor yesterday and how she's really smart and how they want to work with her because she is so real. So her keeping it real does continue to gain people's trust and I think respect too. So that's something Taylor has going for her. Last night, Rome and Devens had a conversation where they discussed that if Devens is going to take someone off the block and put up Rome, then Rome would appreciate it more if it's Lyric. And Devens is really trying to see this as like a deal. Yeah, I'm going to backdoor you, but I'm going to take Lyric off the block. I don't understand this deal, really. I just don't understand how Devens thinks just because he's taking down Lyric, he's still putting up Rome. How does this really make it better with both of them? It's like Devens wants to be played by them. And also, Devens and the Vets, they went from wanting to go to war with Rome to starting a war with Rome to now trying to save public enemy number one's Rome's future wife. And yet we're supposed to think that the Vets are being smart here. I saw someone on Twitter say this, and I agree. Devens is basically saying, I'm backdooring you, but since I took someone else off the block, you need to be grateful to me. That is not good logic to me. In the end, last night, Drew kind of conceded to Devens to just take Lyric off the block, saying it's fine. No one in our group gives a fuck who comes off and who doesn't. Told Devens to do what's best for him. I will say this. Last season, we gave Lauren a lot of shit for being a player where you could just go to them at the last minute and change her mind. She was constantly changing her mind. And I see Devens as the exact same way. No real plan of his own. Just easily being able to mold his mind. I do think he listens to Dee over others for now. But I still feel like other people can clearly get into his mind. Angela is the reason for this entire week by getting in Devens' mind. Lyric was able to change Devens' mind with one conversation. Their first real game talk of the entire season. I will also say Drew not fighting hard enough for Melody is not surprising. He has shown that he will usually cave to the Vets, and yet Dee and Angela want Lyric pulled down instead of Melody because they don't trust Drew. So Drew continues to just cave to the Vets, but it's not for his own game. I find it very weird that Drew brings all this information to the Vets. They don't trust him. Drew is constantly throwing people like Jason and Melody under the bus, and yet they do trust him. Shit's very, very backwards. Dee was telling Lyric that she heard Mallory say that she hates Dee, but Lyric promised Dee that Mallory does not hate her and never said all of that. So basically, we're seeing Dee get swindled by Lyric of all people. And to me, it really does prove that production did have to pull out all the stops to protect the Vets. And this is why one of them automatically was first HOH and will now be getting these votes for a possible power. Because if Dee, an ex-Survivor winner, is getting swindled by Lyric, who just started playing, that's pretty embarrassing for Dee. Devens told Angela and Dee that Drew was content with taking Lyric off, which did shock Angela. Devens told them that they are his people. You want Lyric off, I'm taking Lyric off. If I take Melody off, I get 3/4 of a person. If I take Lyric off, I get Lyric and half of Rome. So Devens really believing in this deal with Rome, when really all they're doing, they nominated one half of a showmance. Now they're saving that half of the showmance to put up the other half of the showmance. It's so fucking stupid. It blows my mind that these are the Vets of the game, and this is the kind of gameplay that we have to deal with. Plus, I really do feel like Dee is believing Lyric over Drew here, that because Lyric told her that Mallory never said all that shit about Dee, that she thinks Drew is lying. My only assumption is that Dee thinks that Lyric is a player that she can drag to the end and maybe beat in the end. But right now, Lyric, who's really a lawyer, is outsmarting Dee. Barrett, who is still a part of this Vets clique because he's nothing but a kiss ass, knows that the Vets are iffy with Drew and does nothing. He would rather wait until the Vets turn on him too, I guess. In fact, Barrett had a whole thing marking out about Angela yesterday and the fact that he gets to play with Angela. So to me, Barrett is a lost cause when it comes to doing anything other than what the Vets want. Last night, the Vets in the red corner, especially Haley, of course, were complaining that Lala and Taylor keep the house clean. Yes, they are complaining about a clean house. I mean, what a bunch of dirty scumbags, right? And how Lala has been getting upset with people who are being extra messy within the house, which led Angela and Dee to make this plan to mess with Lala and I guess Taylor too by doing things like messing things up with toothpaste, putting honey on a door handle. Now, we will see if they actually end up doing this or not. Dee's been looking for someone to play pranks with. I guess it's just the other cowboy from Big Brother 17, 18, James. We have that back in the house. That's supposed to be our fun feeds, I guess, is pranks. But, like, really, again, this can be compared to the hateful 8-person alliance from Big Brother 21. Because this group is also trying to call Lala a bully, a word that I hate used in these games. But yet, as a group, they want to mess with Lala. Okay, I think that's far closer to bullying. And yeah, if this is the entertainment value that the vets want to give, well, clearly Grodner and CBS wasted money and wasted a summer on these people. Then we have Angela requesting to America, begging America to vote for Devens for the next power possibility. And I think Devens is likely to get the next vote. Because, despite the vets being in a position of power 2 straight weeks, what's left of this fandom has exactly the same amount of brain cells as the newbies in this cast, so they will vote for Devens next. But, the vets have had a lot of things handed to them this season so far, and yet they're still begging for Devens to get the next power. I'm already so sick of it. A power change is needed fast this season. Overall, I'd say Dee's game has slipped for sure. I feel like we are left with 0 good players in the game right now. Maybe you could say Kamu. I feel like he is positioning himself best this week. And yeah, Dee is telling Lyric about the Drew stuff and how Drew is saying Mallory hates Dee. I'm waiting for that to get back to Drew. I don't know if that's going to ruin Drew's game or ruins Dee's game. Hopefully, both. Lala is clocking things, She knows that Dee and Devens are nice and all, but they got to go. They've played other games before. She continues to call Barrett out on his shit to the other girls like Melody and Taylor, saying that Barrett is fanning out and playing both sides, which is exactly what he's doing. Lyric has been trying to tell Lala that Drew is not with them, despite Melody thinking that hasn't gotten through to Lala yet. Drew continues to be a blind spot for people. Like I said, the people he's ratting out trust him. The people he's giving information to don't trust him. But Lyric has de-swindled. I have to give her credit for that. Her flirting game is working with the guys. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I think her and Rome's fake breakup plan was dumb as fuck. But with the brain cells on this cast, they didn't find it strange like they should have found it strange that Lyric was campaigning for Rome to go up. But they don't find it strange enough. So right now, Devens is supposed to use the veto on Lyric, and Rome will be put up. I think the odds are Jason or Melody go home this week. I think the DR will work overtime to get Rome to stay some way, whether it's the blockbuster or getting the votes to stay somehow. And Rome could get the votes to stay, though I do think he needs to step up his game. I still think Rome sucks as a game player. Despite this somehow breakup plan working, it's not because it's a good idea from Rome or good gameplay from Rome. It's because the vets look like idiots right now. I don't know if it's Angela's paranoia getting to them. I think it is. Angela's paranoia has done a number on this season already, and not in a good way, I fear.